Short questions, short answers by Torah Teacher Ariel and the Bible. Yeah, we're kind of like a dynamic duo there. Let's take a look at the question for us tonight. What does it mean that Christ is the end of the law? Yeah, you know I was going to talk about this one sooner or later. This is a perennial favorite. Let me start with the Greek of this verse from Romans 10:4. Telos gardamu Christos eistekaiusunein panti to pistuanti. And we read that in our later day, of course. The Greek word translated in many versions as end is telos, which conveys the idea of goal or destination or purpose. In other words, it doesn't have to be translated as end, meaning cessation or termination, like you popularly find in many versions. From a theological perspective, the popular view of this verse has Paul teaching the end of the law. However, as we're going to see from a few other translations, this is not the only view for which we consider. So let's look at a few other versions and see what they have to say. Messianic Jewish author David H. Stern translates this verse as, "For the goal at which the Torah aims is the Messiah who offers righteousness to everyone who trusts." And the Tree of Life version, which is a translation put together by a committee of Christians and Messianic Jews, says, "Messiah is the goal of the Torah as a means to righteousness for everyone who keeps on trusting." Additionally, we have the Scriptures version, a well-known Hebraic roots translation, which reads, "For Messiah is the goal of the Torah unto righteousness to everyone who believes." Again, translating that word telos as goal. However, it's not only Messianic or Hebrew roots versions that challenge a reading that teaches end. Consider the NIV. Christ is the culmination of the law so that there may be righteousness for everyone who believes. So it says culmination. Consider the International Standard Version. "For the Messiah is the culmination of the law as far as righteousness is concerned for everyone who believes." Sounds like the NIV we just read, right? Again, we're challenging this idea of end of the law. How about God's Word translation? "Christ is the fulfillment of Moses' teachings so that everyone who has faith may receive God's approval." This sounds very much like Yeshua, Jesus' own words in Matthew 5:17. "I came to fulfill the law and the prophets," right? Fulfillment of the Torah. Not necessarily end, but fulfillment. And we're going to talk about Matthew 5:17 here in just a bit. So, what are our conclusions? We've got so many different versions to choose from. Which one should help us decide how to understand the Greek word telos? I'm of the persuasion that our theology about the law as Christians should flow primarily from the words of the Messiah himself. Let's see what he said. "I didn't come to abolish the law and the prophets." Yes, Messiah fulfilled the law and the prophets, but I personally do not believe that the word fulfill there can possibly have the same meaning as abolish, terminate, or put an end to. What is more, even if I'm wrong and the law truly has come to an end like people say, it cannot possibly be all of the law that is ended. And how do I know this? Indeed, the moral parts of the law are still binding on believers, right? Murder's still wrong, adultery, lying, theft, they're all still wrong. All of these parts of the law that we read about are still wrong. Therefore, it couldn't all be done away with. Paul himself wrote Romans 10:4 as a knowledgeable Jewish Torah teacher. He understood the Scriptures. Paul was a student and follower of Yeshua, and thus Paul's understanding of law must agree with his teacher's understanding of law. So Paul shouldn't be saying that the law has come to an end in Romans 10:4 if Jesus himself didn't say that the law came to an end during his time here on earth. Paul wrote in Romans 3:31, "Do we then overthrow the law by this faith? By no means. On the contrary, we uphold the law." You guys know the drill. Head on out to iTunes and catch my podcast. Search for my name, Ariel HaNaviy, and you'll find all the wonderful podcasts that I've been able to put together. Or if you prefer, head on out to YouTube and check out all my videos. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell so that you receive notifications because I upload new content daily and weekly. Alrighty.